Hi friends, hi family, it's the Petersons. We wanted to give you a little update about what's been going on in our lives. It has been almost 1 year since we moved from the Bay Area back to my home area in Oregon. So we just wanted to give you a little update, kind of what's been going on with us. A lot of people have been saying, what is going on or what has happened? So a lot has happened. And so we just want to give you a quick overview and tell you about a cool thing that's happening soon. But first, we moved from the Bay Area to Oregon in September of last year. We sold our house. We moved up here with no jobs, no real knowledge of exactly what we were going to do, but we knew three things. We knew we wanted to be in Oregon. Specifically, we wanted to be in the Willamette Valley. Secondarily, we wanted to be within 30 minutes of family. We thought that would be important to the quality of life that we wanted as we changed some things around. And third, we both knew what kind of jobs we wanted to do. Joanna wanted to work back at a medical hospital, and I wanted to be a senior pastor. So we made that move. We put everything in a moving truck and a trailer and our cars, and we moved in with my parents.
So, it was awesome.
It was actually pretty amazing. We got to live in a 2-bedroom area that they had. Our kids got to spend a lot of time with their grandparents, which, not living near them or next to them, we really cherished those months that we were there with them. And as we were there with them, we realized a few things. We realized we liked living near our parents. And so in that meantime, we had some other things happen with work.
We did. So once we got up here, we had switched the kids to homeschool to help with the transition. And so I was helping with the homeschool while I was studying for my licensing exam, because even though I was licensed in California, I had to take the exam again in Oregon to become licensed and get a job in a hospital. So I studied while the kids did school, and then was able to pass the exam in October and landed a job in November at one of the local hospitals here doing medical social work.
Yep. So she was able to do that. And when we got to Oregon, we crashed for like 2 weeks. We just slept, and we had such an amazing send-off from all of our friends there in the Bay. And it was just a lot of energy and a lot of emotions and a lot of feelings. So we just came to Oregon and we crashed for a couple of weeks. And when we kind of surfaced, we started looking around at churches. I started making connections with other pastors and other places, and started dreaming about what that would look like as far as my job, as far as being a senior pastor in a church. And as we began talking more and more about that, we were realizing that some of the theologies that we hold, some of the beliefs that we hold towards church and towards people, or what we even believe the scriptures say, that, and we'll explain that in a minute, but basically that may not be incredibly mainline for a lot of people. So that would mean that we would need to be in a very specific church. And so that began the thought in our heads that maybe instead of finding a church to become a senior pastor of, maybe God was asking us to do something different. So in the meantime, I've been able to lead worship and be a worship arts director at a church just a ways away from here in Dallas, Oregon is where we live. Doing that, leading worship continually, working with those teams. But it is a temporary position because we do believe that God has asked us to actually plant a church. So in the meantime, it's been, I don't know if you guys know about COVID. It's happened and it's been happening. So the reality is it's really difficult to launch a church. It's even more difficult when you can't meet together to launch a church. So we decided we're not launching yet. So God was so kind and gracious to provide a way that I could still use what he's gifted me to do, but also a way to provide for our family. So we've been doing that. In the meantime, Reese and Iris have picked up working with mini horses, which is a whole new genre of things for us. Yes. But it's been pretty great for us as well. We've done a lot of different things in the meantime. Iris and Reese are they're just flourishing. They get to spend a lot of time with a couple cousins, their grandparents. And also we were able to buy a house with a little bit of property up here in Oregon, where we can kind of imagine and dream about both of our parents moving onto the property and spending more and more memories, whatever time we have left, whether it's 50 years or 2 years, we don't know. None of us are guaranteed that. So we decided as many people on as we could have near us just to spend life with, make as many memories as possible. So I don't know if you want to add anything about
No, that you pretty much covered it. But yeah, the kids are excited. They get to start in-person school this year. Yeah. They're headed back. They're both signed up for soccer, and they're kind of making new friends, meeting new people, and it's just a really nice season that we're transitioning into.
Yeah. And as God birthed that kind of idea in our hearts to plant a church, we began for quite a while to be dreaming, what kind of a church would it be? How would it be? What would it look like? And what would we hope for it? No, I've worked at some great churches, and the last church, Northgate Christian Fellowship, what a wonderful church. We're really sad to leave there. But as we started thinking about what was next and what was new for us, we started to say we need to be honest and true to ourselves about what kind of a church we would hope for, and what kind of a faith community we would go for. And so we believe that the Bible points to Jesus all the way, and that Jesus is our focus, that the idea that he can show and share with us a pathway, a belief system, a journey, a faith that leads to joy and peace and other fruits of the Spirit, gentleness and kindness and so much more. And so we want a church that's focused that way. But one of the theological beliefs that we have is actually that Joanna and I are both what some people would call open and affirming. And that's because we believe that in the LGBTQ community, we believe God created you that way. And we believe he did make a mistake in that. And so we honestly believe that from our hearts and our souls, but who those who identify as LGBTQ plus any of that, we believe that God created you that way. And since that's the truth, we don't want to create a church where then we're going to have to ask you to change something about that. We believe that the scriptures, that you can interpret the scriptures differently, not by trick or by trade, but by looking at the truth of them and looking at what God has created in humanity. So we decided that if we're going to start a church, we want it to be open and affirming, not just open to the LGBTQ community, but affirming of who God's created them to be. Some other areas of the church that's been hard to kind of stomach over the time, and we're hoping that we're in a space where we can create something that's gracious enough to look at issues of racial justice in a new way, steer away from tying our faith in any way to Americana or Christian nationalism, if you know what that is. And we believe fully, I believe, and Joanna both believe that the Bible can be clear on this, that women are not to just be subjective to men, and that women can be pastors and elders and teachers and more in the church. And for some people, those beliefs, they may be anti-Bible, or you might see them as incorrect. But we believe strongly that those are some areas that we want to be a part of a church that's doing those things and working in those ways. And so that's what God has created and birthed into us. So we're going to host a worship night on the property, September 10th at 7 p.m. And even if you go, listen, a new community, a new faith community I'm in for, but I don't really believe all those things you just said, it's okay. Not everybody in this space is going to believe those things exactly. There's going to be space for everybody to believe a lot of different things, and as long as we stick our focus on who Jesus Christ was and what he means in our lives. So you don't have to be all of those things, and you may be hearing me say those things, and they may be everything that you're saying, that's me. That's who I am. We want to invite anybody and everybody to come out and have a worship night on the property. It's going to be outside, so we're not going to have to wear masks at this time. And it's going to be at 7 o'clock. It's going to be a little over an hour long. It's going to be some worship and a little bit of talking. It's not going to be a commercial for the church. It's just a gift to our friends and family that we want to host here at the property. So September 10th at 7 p.m.
Right. And there's enough space. We can spread out. It's a great place to come to be honest and open, to ask questions, to be inquisitive, hopefully to receive some love and some encouragement as well.
Yeah. Yeah, we honestly want everybody to know everybody's welcome in this space. We don't all have to agree on all of these things, but we do want to put our focus on Jesus, and we do want to create a space where literally no one is excluded from and everybody is championed, because we believe God has created each one of you individually and that he loves you. So at this moment, whether you agree with us or not, whether you're excited for us or not, you're loved by us and you're loved by God. And we're excited for whatever this next journey is. So September 10th is the start of it. And if you want more information, you can go to, we haven't even told them the church name.
I know, you gotta reveal it.
You gotta reveal it, I think.
Willamette Valley Church.
What's that?
Willamette Valley Church.
Willamette Valley Church. Willamette Valley Church, you're welcome here. So thank you guys, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks so much for watching. If you want more information, go to willamettevalleychurch.com.
My fear doesn't stand a chance when